Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sam, and this week we're doing a reading vlog. So, it is Tuesday morning. It's like 10 o'clock. I've been filming all morning because this is the first morning that my mom has actually not worked from home, so I can use her office, where my bookshelves are, to film. So I want to talk about what I've been reading. I kind of intended to start this vlog yesterday on Monday, but since my mom was working from home, I couldn't sit down here and like film an intro. So I will include the footage of what I read yesterday now.
Oh my love, you're such a fragile thing, I know. And with the winter comes the ice, the snow, but I'm here to hold. And oh my love, don't worry about the cold just yet. The trees haven't started to shed. Just feel the summer sun as it warms our bed.
Alright, so it is 4 o'clock on Monday. I'm probably gonna film like an actual intro to this. I hope I put that somewhere at the beginning of this, but I am about halfway through House of Hollow. Absolutely loving it so far. Super excited to continue it. Probably gonna honestly finish it today. And this was just a really good start to my week. So I'm gonna probably sit here and finish this and I will update y'all later. I ended up finishing 2 books yesterday. So I finished The Cheat Sheet, which is by Sarah Adams. I was almost halfway through this when I started it yesterday morning, so I finished the last half and I did really enjoy it. It's cute, it's cheesy, but I mean, if you want a rom-com, if you want a clean adult rom-com, which I feel like those are becoming increasingly harder to find, and don't get me wrong, I like smut a lot. However, I do think it's important to have books for people that don't. Ooh, the Roomba thing is hitting the door. Okay, it's gone. But I do think it's important to have clean romance for adults who don't like to read smut. And if you are one of those people, this is a great choice for you. And apparently we're just going to deal with the Roomba hitting the door. It's fine. The second book that I read yesterday was House of Hollow. This is by Crystal Sutherland, and it is a horror fantasy type of thing. I think I'm going to put it on my horror shelf rather than my fantasy shelf. I felt the same way about Gallant, and I felt like this reminded me a lot of Gallant. Different story, but like really similar vibes. I also felt like it reminded me a lot of like the Hazelwood, but better. Now, the Hazelwood I put on my fantasy shelf. But I don't know, this one just felt more horror-y to me, but it definitely has some fantasy vibes going somewhere in there. But I really enjoyed it. I read it basically in one sitting. It's not very long. It's barely 300 pages, but I thought it was really fun. This basically follows 3 sisters who went missing when they were little kids, and they returned a month later with absolutely no memory of where they had been. And now it is 10 years later, and one of the sisters has gone missing again, and the other 2 have to find her. There's for sure some fantasy elements. I thought it wasn't like, parts of it were predictable. I definitely saw certain things coming, but I don't think that really took away from the story as a whole. I still thought it was extremely creepy, very atmospheric, very good, even though I knew some things were going to happen and I guessed a lot of things pretty early on. I don't feel like that really took away from how much fun I had while reading it. So if you like horror fantasy, which I think I am becoming an increasing fan of, this is a great book for that. Alright, so the books that I am planning to read. I have my obvious monthly TBR, but I don't like to choose too many books that I'm going to read. Like, I don't like to say I'm going to read this and then this and then this and then this with too many things all at one time, or I get overwhelmed and then I start to resent the things that I feel like I have to read. So I like to have the book that I'm currently reading and then the book that I think I'm going to read next, and that could change. But the book that I'm currently reading, which I have not started yet, but I'm going to start today, is Bully. This is by Penelope Douglas. I have never read a Penelope Douglas book before. I have never read a bully romance before. We're jumping right in here. So, the only thing I really know about this book is that it's a bully romance. I know that it's a best friends to bully to, I guess, like best friends to enemies to lovers kind of thing is what I'm getting. That's really all I know, but I'm intrigued because I do love best friends to lovers, and I do like best friends to enemies to lovers. I'm a little bit nervous about the bully aspect, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not really into like degradation. Like, I don't really like degrading things, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna give it a shot. And then once I finish this, I think the next book I'm gonna read is gonna be a fantasy. I've been trying to do that to kind of jump between like a contemporary and then a fantasy, or like just something to break up all of the fantasy books that I read. So I think what I'm going to read next is A Forgery of Roses. This is by Jessica S. Olsen, and I know absolutely nothing about it other than it is a fantasy, and I kind of want to keep it that way. This was a cover by, I've talked about this book a couple of times before, but I bought it because I thought the cover was pretty, and I don't do that very often. So it's also not very long. I know it's YA, and that is it. That is all I know. I think... No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I was going to say I think maybe there's a Beauty and the Beast aspect, but I'm really only thinking that because there's a rose on the cover, and I don't know that that's enough to really tell me what it's about. So I don't know anything about this book. I don't want to know anything about this book, but those are my reading plans. So I have a lot of editing to do today. I have been filming all morning. I need to edit everything that I have been filming. I'm hoping to start Bully very soon. I know that my husband and I were gonna go do something either today or tomorrow, but we haven't decided what, and we haven't decided exactly when. It kind of depended on how much work I got done and when I got done with things today. So we'll kind of see where that goes. I will update y'all when I have an update.
I'm lying, and I'm lying when I say I'm not afraid, but I'm trying to shelter you from pain, and oh my love, the seasons come and they go, but I hope you know that
So it is 3:30 in the afternoon. We went to a bookstore. I got all of my video editing done. Oops. No, Cooper. Cooper, no. And I have been sitting out here reading Bully for like an hour-ish, and I'm just under 100 pages in. This is going exactly how I thought it would. I hate Jared. Like, I hate him. And I know that you're supposed to right now, but like, I just know that I'm gonna have a lot of trouble forgiving him. I felt the same way about The Cruel Prince, which I know is more of a fantasy, but like, let's be honest, that is also a bully romance. We'll see. There's a plotline that just began that I know for sure I'm not gonna like. Like, I'm already not thrilled about it, and it's kind of making me want to put the book down for a little bit. But I also have high hopes that it could get better. So I'm going to keep going. However, I did also find out that their story doesn't end in this book. Like, this is a series, and I thought it was just like a romance series where each book is about a different couple, and it is, except that book 4 comes back to them. So now I'm wondering if this book isn't a happy ending yet. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but I don't know. I think I'm going to keep going. And we'll see how it goes from there. So it is 6:45. I have been reading off and on and doing some other things all afternoon, but I am just about halfway through Bully. I have to finish it. I feel like the book is exactly what I expected, and I'm still not so sure how I feel about that, but I feel like it's being done very well because just like the main character, I too hate Jared, but am strangely attracted to him. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. I do know that I absolutely hate her best friend. I think she's a terrible person and literally deserves no friendship whatsoever. But I'm invested. I think this is gonna hurt, but I'm invested, so we gotta finish it. And I'm probably gonna read more tonight, but I'm gonna go hang out with my husband for a little bit and then read a little bit more, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. This book makes me real nervous, but I am slightly enjoying it. So that's all I got tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow. So it is, what day of the week is it? It's Wednesday, and it's like 11:30 in the morning. I got a little bit of a later start today, slept in a tiny little bit, didn't get up till like 8, went to the gym for like an hour, so I have not done a ton of reading. I've actually only read like maybe one more chapter of Bully, so nothing to really talk about there. However, I did decide to start an audiobook today, which I've been wanting to start an audiobook for a while, and I decided on this one because it was on sale on the like iBooks app. I still don't have access to the library's app here, so I needed something cheap. But I started The Prison Healer, and I'm only like 68 pages in. I kind of tried to match up where I was on the audio versus where I am in the book. So I've been listening for like an hour, hour and a half. That's what I did while we were at the gym. And then while I was getting ready this morning, and I'm liking it. It is a reread for me. I do really want to read the second book, but the second book is not on sale on the app, so I'm hoping that by the time I need it, I can get it from the library, I hope. But otherwise, I might just end up like physically reading it. But audiobooks and me do not historically get along, and most of that is because I can read so much faster than I can listen. So I do listen to audiobooks at double speed, but I find that much more than that, and I start to lose track of what's happening. But I can read physically a lot faster. I can read about 100 pages an hour, and I've been listening for like an hour and a half, and I'm only 68 pages in, so that drives me nuts. This is a book that would take me maybe 4.5 hours to read. It's 400 pages, so yeah, it would take me like maybe 4 hours to read, but it's going to take me 7 with the audiobook. And that drives me nuts. But that is still 7 hours spent reading that I wouldn't be spending otherwise because I can't read a physical book while at the gym, so it's fine. I'm gonna push through it. I might try to up the speed a little bit, but I can't really go much higher without kind of losing track of what's happening, so we'll see how it goes. But basically, if you have not read this book, it follows our main character. I think her name is Kiva. Yes, Kiva, and she is a healer in a prison. She's also a prisoner, and this new prisoner comes in, and he's a little bit strange and wants to get to know her a lot more than most prisoners would. And then the rebel queen is captured, and she is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, which no one has ever survived, but she's unconscious, so Kiva decides to take her place, and then it kind of spirals on from there. But it definitely has like Red Queen vibes, but better in my opinion, because I did not like Red Queen. It also kind of reminds me of like it's a very dystopian feel, but in more of a fantasy way, less of a sci-fi way, I guess. I don't know, that's what we're gonna go with. But that's kind of where I'm at. I need to finish filming my bookshelf tour and then edit that because that's going up tomorrow. And then I need to keep reading, but the filming and editing is probably going to take up the bulk of my day. We also have some stuff around the house that we need to get done. So yeah, that's just kind of what I'm going to be doing today, and I will be reading more. I'm hoping to finish Bully today. That is my goal, is to finish Bully, keep reading The Prison Healer when I have a chance, and we'll go from there. I do still plan on reading A Forgery of Roses next. I think this could be a good audiobook though, so I might listen to it if I can find it somewhere for a reasonable price, because so far I've only found it for like $15. I And I just do not have $15 right now. So we'll see how that goes. But I think if I do decide to wait on that one for an audiobook, that I might read The Deal next, even though I don't tend to read 2 romances back to back. But since I'm also reading The Prison Healer, which is kind of like a fantasy, as an audiobook, maybe that'll be okay. We'll see. I will say the one thing that I've noticed about filming here is this room echoes. So if anybody's home, I feel really weird filming in here because it's so echoey and I feel like everyone can hear me, even though I'm pretty sure they can't because the doors are closed, and like when my mom's in here working, I can't hear her, so I'm pretty sure people can't hear me. But I don't know, if I find like I'm talking really softly, it's because my voice is echoing in here and it weirds me out. But I'm trying with the audio. So good morning. Okay, so it is Thursday today and it's like 8:45 in the morning. I finished Bully last night. Ooh, and I almost dropped it. But I have a lot of thoughts and I don't have a lot of time right now, but I both hated it and loved it, and I really don't know how to describe that other than it's the exact same way I felt about Jared the whole book. Like, I hated him, but I was still attracted to him, which is exactly how our main character felt. So I guess that was done well. There were definitely things that I legitimately hated about this book. I think her best friend is a terrible person and deserves 0 friendship. I think that the way girls are treated in this book is kind of disgusting, especially around the topic of like virginity and stuff. Like, it was gross. And I don't think Jared was ever fully redeemed. Like, honestly, I don't forgive him, which I knew was going to be a thing. I just knew that was going to happen. I felt the same way about the Cruel Prince. I never fully forgave Cardan because he was so terrible to Jude in the first book, and I felt the same way about Jared in this book, but I was still very attracted to the book, and I still, like, I really liked the racing aspect. It very much has like Fast and Furious vibes, which I love, so I am very interested in reading more books centered around that. And I will probably continue on with this series. The next 2 books are about like different characters, and I think one of them's about her best friend, who I still hate, so I don't know if I want to read that one, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not completely giving up on Penelope Douglas, but I wasn't, like, if all of her books are gonna be like this, again, attracted to it, but there's just so many problems with it and so many things that just angered me. I gave it 3 stars. I almost gave it 4 because I was attracted to it. But I knocked off an extra star because of just a few things that I really had a problem with. And I'll go more into depth in like my wrap-up video and stuff, but I both would and would not recommend this book at the same time. I will say that this book did have a really great like plot to smut ratio. Like, this is what I look for in a book. It wasn't overdone. Most of it was like towards the end. I enjoyed that aspect. Okay, so on top of that, I also continued listening to The Prison Healer. I don't know how far I am at the moment. I'm like 2.5, maybe 3 hours into it, but that's at double speed, so might be further than that. I don't really know. I don't think I'm quite halfway yet, but I'm getting there. Still liking it. It's a reread, so there's not really a whole lot to say, but I wouldn't say this is like top tier fantasy ever, but if you like Red Queen, you'll probably like this. If you didn't like Red Queen, you might still like this, because I didn't like Red Queen, but I do like this. So far, it's still a solid 4-star read for me. And then I also started A Forgery of Roses. I decided not to listen to this as an audiobook, so I was reading it last night, and I am 72 pages in. This follows our main character, Myra, and she's an artist in like this fantasy world where I guess like their god is like the great artist, and so anybody who is an artist and like sells their paintings and stuff is like looked at as like heresy, for like, I don't know, it's seen as like mocking the great artist, I guess. But what's looked at as even worse is there are some artists like Myra who can like use magic to change a person by painting them. So like she can like change little features about a person, like their hair color and stuff. Like if she paints them with a different hair color, their hair color will actually change. and she is like in hiding because of this. Like, she can't let anybody know that she has this power, but the governor's wife finds out, and now she's being like commissioned to paint the governor's son back to life, which has never been done before. So that's really all I know so far. That's where I'm at. And all of that was on the front cover. I checked, so no spoilers. But so far, I'm liking it. It was a little bit difficult to get into. I didn't really like the first couple of chapters. I thought it was very flowery writing, which can sometimes be a little bit difficult for me to get into. But once I got into it a little bit, I was starting to enjoy it more. So far, I'm liking it. I'm not super far into it. We still have a long way to go, so we will see where we end up from here. Alright, so I've got a lot of things to do today. And my dad's almost home, so I'm gonna have to leave this room. And there's a lot of things going on, so I will update y'all when I have something worth talking about. Okay, so sorry about the lighting. It's awful right now because it is dark. So it's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. We got home a little while ago from Virginia. I don't know if I said this at any point prior, but we went up to Virginia for my brother-in-law's graduation from high school. So we've been gone all weekend. We ended up staying an extra night. We were supposed to be home yesterday. We were not. So I'm trying to finish out this vlog and get it edited in time to go up tomorrow. So this will be a super fun night for me. But I did get some reading done. Not a ton because I was really busy all weekend, but I did read a lot in the car. So I did finish A Forgery of Roses. This was a little bit unmemorable, honestly, because I really don't remember anything about it. Yes, this was the one about the artist. Okay. It was okay. I think I gave it 3, maybe 3.5 stars. It was a really good concept and I liked parts of it. I just felt like the execution was underwhelming, especially in the romance department, which this is very much like a fantasy with a romance side plot. I just did not like the romance side plot at all. I felt like that wasn't done very well. But I mean, the story itself, it was kind of cool. If you like Stalking Jack the Ripper type of thing, but with a little bit more fantasy, this is kind of similar. Stalking Jack the Ripper is a little bit better in my opinion, but we're still kind of looking at like thriller aspects with a little bit of like more of a historical fantasy type of setting. It was good. Didn't love it. Didn't not like it though. Probably wouldn't read it again, but would recommend it. So that's what we're gonna go with. I'm so tired, guys. So I am so sorry about what the end of this vlog is going to look like. But I did also read another book that I borrowed from my mother-in-law and I gave it back. So I've read it super quickly, but that was In the Country Dark. And I don't actually remember the author, but the author is someone that my mother-in-law knows. And he is from West Virginia, where my husband's family is from. And he writes, I think he's written like some sci-fi fantasy stuff, but also some thriller-ish type of things. So the one that I read was a thriller about 2 best friends, or like childhood best friends, that have recently reconnected, and they end up kind of in the middle of like this crime mafia type of thing in West Virginia. It was interesting. It wasn't like my type of book personally, but I thought that the book itself was interesting. Like I was intrigued. I didn't come away loving it because it wasn't really my thing, but I did come away appreciating it. Like I really liked the setting. I love West Virginia just in general, but I really liked the way that the setting was done in the book. I thought the actual like crime, it wasn't really a mystery. It was more like it wasn't a mystery, it wasn't really a thriller, but it was like a crime story, but not like a true crime story. And I've never read something like that, but it was interesting. I would be interested to read his next book. This one was published in 2020. I know that he just published another one in 2022, and I think it's supposed to be like a follow-up to this one. So I would be interested to read that one because, one, I would like to see where a follow-up to that would go, but 2, I would like to see how his writing has changed over the past 2 years, because I think the first book had a lot of potential. There were some things that I didn't like about it, but I think it had a lot of potential, and I would like to see how that could be improved in the next one. So I read that like super quickly last night, I think in like 2 hours. And then in the car today on the way home, I have almost finished The Deal. So I started this in the car and almost finished it. I'm literally like less than 50 pages away from the end. I was trying so hard to finish it, and we pulled in the driveway and I was like, no. So we were so close, but didn't quite finish it. But oh my goodness, I love this. This is going to be 5 stars. I love this. It is so cute, so perfect. It is everything I want in a college romance. I adore this book. I feel like, how do I talk about this book? Okay, so first of all, what this book is about. It is about our main character. So it's dual points of view, and we have Hannah and Garrett. And Hannah is a music major at Briar University, and she is crushing on this football player, and he doesn't know who she is, and she got an A on this philosophy test that like everybody failed, and Garrett is a hockey player who failed that philosophy test, and his GPA is tanking because of it, and he really wants Hannah to tutor him because if he doesn't get his GPA up, he's not going to be able to play hockey anymore. So he begs her to tutor him. She says no. Finally, she agrees when he offers to help her have this football player notice her. But things spiral from there, and then suddenly the football player doesn't really matter anymore. Like, who's he? I loved this book. I love Garrett. I think he is everything I like in a love interest. He is so much fun, so realistic. It's not an enemies to lovers, like, at all. It's more like a... I mean, he definitely fell first, and she made him work for it. Like, she made him work for her, and I love that. But I also feel like this is just one of those college romances that has, like, a really good ratio of, like, plot to romance, plot to smut. Like, that was done really well. I don't know how it ends yet, so I can't speak as to how much I love the ending. There are definitely some predictable plot lines in here, but like I don't care. Like where it's going right now, I know exactly how it's gonna end. At least I'm 99% sure. There could be some random twist in there and then I might have to change everything I'm saying. But if it ends the way I'm 99% sure it's going to, like it's kind of like a cheesy ending, kind of a cheesy book in general, but I'm enjoying it and I can't wait to finish it, and I would absolutely read this again. So I cannot wait to continue on with reading this series and Elle Kennedy in general. I really want to buy the rest of this series. I'm assuming that each book follows a different couple. That's my assumption, I think, but we'll see. Alright, well it is like 9:15. I am exhausted. I am losing my voice. My throat hurts from talking. I'm gonna go to bed, honestly. That's why I'm gonna finish editing this video and then I'm gonna go to bed. But I'm gonna end the vlog here. I will probably start another one. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, we'll see. But video will go up Thursday as usual, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!